Well, good morning, and welcome to the Wednesday Pastor Check-In with Pastor Brian. That's me. It's still yet dark in the sanctuary on this Wednesday morning, but I come to you with this single candle lit here in our sanctuary, one of the sconces that you would find along the pew rail for Christmas Eve, and so we have these set up for that recording and celebration of that. But I have repurposed one today to give me but a little bit of light in this dark sanctuary, as a reminder of a theme which we hit on often in Advent, and it's actually what Advent is all about: the already, not yet. Have you heard that term before? Already, not yet. I love the theme because it reminds us of how God is already here. God is already with us. Christ has already shown us who he is and what he has done for us. And yet, there is much which we have yet to see. We are not yet fully aware of all who God is and all who God will make us to be. I think about who we all are. We are all on a journey of becoming, all on a journey of already, not yet. When we think about our lives and those things we would like to do and those things we have done, we have a sense of who we are, but we also have a sense of where we are going, what God is seeking to do with us. And so this theme of already, not yet comes to us during Advent because it's a season where we recognize who Christ is and who, we know the end of the story. We know what is coming on Christmas Eve, but it's also a reminder that fullness of grace and truth is not yet here. That time, even after Christ's birth and death and resurrection, where we will one day know in fullness the kingdom of heaven and the kingdom on earth. We aspire for that to happen. We seek to bring that into fruition in small ways here on earth, knowing that there will come a day when we are all feasting with the Lamb and the Lord's Supper and the things we hope for in that come to fruition. And so it's a season of preparing for that. It's a season preparing for Christ's not only birth, but for Christ's life and all that Jesus will do with us. And I think back to one of the themes, and we've had a couple sermons where we've talked about John the Baptist. What a wild and enigmatic, wonderful character that sort of precedes Jesus in the gospel narratives. And if you go to Mark 1, you'll read of John the Baptist. He was ate locusts and wild honey. And that alone kind of sets the stage for who he is. This wild man coming out from the wilderness, and his diet was locusts and wild honey. But I have a friend from Duke Divinity School, Lizzie McManus Dale, who pointed out something about the corollaries of what it means that it was locusts and wild honey. Because if we think back to the story of the Egyptians and the locusts, if you remember, locusts have a place in the plagues. That was one of the plagues that God sent to the Egypts for oppressing the Israelites. And so we have this sort of symbol of sin and death. But then, as we remember, the Israelites wandered through the desert for 40 years and would eventually come to a place of milk and honey, a land flowing with milk and honey. So we get this image of life. And so here in this package, John the Baptist brings both an image of death, but also an image of life. You might say it's an image of already, not yet. And when John the Baptist says he baptizes with water, he also makes it clear that he is not the Messiah, and the one that comes after him baptizes with the fire of the Holy Spirit. Already, not yet. This vision of death which is in our midst, sin which is keeping us from the full glory of God, but also the life, the milk, the honey to which we are drawn and which we see inbreakings of. I think often during the Advent and Christmas season, one of the things that's, we talk about sort of the magic in the air. I think it's a time when we see the inbreaking of God's love. The veil is torn for just a moment, and we see God in miraculous and specific ways. I know not everyone feels this way, but sometimes this season I just see love in ways that I don't see at other times of year. I think people are more willing to see God's goodness in our midst. It's always here. It's already. But indeed, it is not yet. And so, like a single candle lit in a room, we already have light. But indeed, the room is not yet lit. We cannot see every nook and cranny and corner, but we know God is here. And we have a light to show us the way. As we head in towards these last few days of Advent, I hope you are taking care to hold on to your light, to let it guide you around even the dark rooms, that you might know who God is in a new and special way this season. Hope you'll continue to join us as we progress towards our Christmas services. And as always, let us know below or privately if there's anything we need to be aware of and check in with you about in terms of your life, body, mind, and spirit. God be with you. God bless you.